listen up. You think the world gives a damn about your heart? Nah. Let's be clear, it doesn't. Not one soul in this rough game cares about the storm you're carrying inside. Out here, it's all survival, kid. The streets, the deals, the sideways glances under dim lights, it's every person for themselves. The second you let that heart show, you might as well put a target on your back. Emotions, they'll eat you alive. Don't fool yourself. You walk around with that softness in your eyes, hoping for a scrap of mercy. But mercy? That's for the ones who don't make it. It's for the ones who don't understand that every inch you give is just a chance for someone to stick a knife in. I've watched too many bright souls, the ones who thought they could keep a bit of softness, snuffed out because they didn't know there's no place for it. Not here. See, I used to think like you. Thought the world might have room for kindness, that somewhere in the shadows there was a place you could let down your guard even for a second. But here's what I learned: the world's nothing but a butcher's block, and everyone's got their blades out. The ones who last, they aren't the biggest or the loudest. They're the ones who learn to wrap their heart in steel and move like a ghost, unseen and untouchable. Don't get me wrong, I still feel. I'm not a machine, no matter what they say about me when they think I'm not listening. But every scar on this face, every sleepless night wondering if the next breath would be my last, that's the price of letting emotion steer the ship. Every time I let hope get close, every time I dared to feel something, the world showed me that hope is for fools. I remember a kid, bright eyes, full of dreams. He walked with me once, thought he could find some good in the dark. Said if you just stayed true, you'd come through with your soul intact. Told him he'd be better off praying or running. He didn't listen. Found him a week later, staring up at the sky, his eyes wide open like he still couldn't believe the blade he never saw coming. And that's the truth, isn't it? This world will use your feelings as ammunition. Every tear, every laugh, it's just leverage. Show it, and you're handing them the match to set you ablaze. People, they're like scavengers circling, just waiting for that first crack. Let your guard down for one damn second, and they'll be there picking over what's left. They ask me, why don't you smile more, Tommy? I'll tell you why. Smiling's just another way of showing your teeth, and in this world, you keep those teeth hidden, clenched tight. The moment you show them even a hint of softness, they'll dig in with claws. And you, standing there thinking maybe there's more to this than just surviving, that maybe I'm wrong, that maybe there's a reason to hope. Let me tell you, and don't forget it, hope is the cruelest joke they play. It's the whisper that keeps you on your knees, making you believe if you just try harder, if you just believe a little more, something will be different. But nothing changes, kid. The streets don't change. The darkness doesn't change. And the people, they only get sharper, hungrier. You want to make it out of this? Learn this. Don't show your heart. Don't let them see the places where you're still human. You've got to patch yourself up with steel, tear out the bits that make you bleed. You look in that mirror and you say, I am not weakness. I am not mercy, and maybe if you're lucky, if you're ruthless enough, you'll walk through the fire and come out the other side whole. But until that day, don't you dare let them see you flinch. Don't you dare show your heart. You think strength is all about muscle and power? Listen here. You think this world cares about your soft spots? It doesn't. Doesn't give a damn what's hidden behind those eyes, what keeps you awake at night. Out here, showing your cards will get you cut down before you've even drawn a breath. That mask you wear, that's not a choice, it's armor. Strength? It isn't loud. It's in the silence between your steps, the way you walk into a room and make sure no one catches the flicker of doubt beneath the surface. Because if they do, if they spot even a trace of regret or a shadow of weakness, you've handed them a weapon they won't hesitate to use. I've seen giants fall, men built to crush stone, because their hearts were too open. Once the world saw what was inside them, it reached in and shattered every piece worth saving. And it broke them over and over until there was nothing left but empty shells, echoes of who they used to be. That's not what I want for you, kid. Not you. I see that fire in your eyes, fists clenched like you think you can fight everything. But let me tell you the real fight. It's not in the alleys, not in the shadows. It's right here, inside your chest, where memories haunt and the whispers of what could have been digged deeper than any blade. You've got to learn to seal that place up, lock it tight until there's nothing left for this world to twist. Some days you'll wonder, trust me, you'll think, what if? In the dead of night, when the silence is so loud you can barely breathe, you'll want to drop that weight off your shoulders and just feel. But feeling? That's the most dangerous thing you could do. That's the kind of slip that ruins lives, brings empires crashing down. Think about the cost of emotion. Every scar, every whisper behind my back, every person who thought they had me figured out, they're reminders that softness is a luxury, one I learned to live without. It's a lesson paid for in blood when everything I had was dangling by a thread and I faced a choice break or build walls no one could tear down. I chose steel, not because it was easy, but because it was the only way forward. So when you wake up one day and the world seems colder, harsher, you remember this: they'll never know the price you pay to hold it all in, to stay unbroken. That's your strength, right there in the silence, in the control. Once you master that, you become untouchable. Let them see only what you choose to show, a face that says you're 10 steps ahead, a mind they can't read. Because in this world, that's what separates the ones pulling the strings from those dangling by them. Emotions? They're for the dreamers, the ones who think life's soft around the edges. But not us. Not you, and definitely not me. Emotions are weakness, and weakness is fatal. The quicker you bury that part of you, the longer you'll survive. And in those darkest hours, when you pour yourself a drink to quiet the noise, you'll wonder. You'll question if it was worth it, trading warmth in what could have been for this cold, unyielding resolve. But when the shadows press in and the world feels like a weight on your chest, it's that hardness that keeps you standing. I've seen people try to walk into the fire with soft hearts, thinking they'd come out the other side unburned. They didn't make it. I watched the light fade from their eyes as they reached for something this world was never going to let them have. When you're soft, you're just waiting to be torn open, to be picked apart until there's nothing left. But when you walk the path I'm showing you, you don't just survive, you thrive. You become the force they whisper about in alleys, the storm they step aside for. They'll call you ruthless, say you've given up everything that made you human. Let them. Those words are just noise from people who don't understand the price of survival. They'll judge from the sidelines, never daring to step into the real battle. They don't get it, the rules are different here. Mercy is a noose you hang yourself with. And one day, someone you care about, someone who thinks they know you, will look at you like they've found the crack in your armor. They'll see what they think is a glimpse of the real you and test your resolve. But that moment, that hesitation, is the difference between predator and prey. You'll learn that lesson, same as I did with blood on your hands, and regret that won't wash away. I wasn't always this way, you know. There was a time I believed in dreams and loyalty untouched by betrayal. But that's over now. Now it's all about the mask, the armor, and moving forward no matter what gets left behind. A double-edged blade, that's what it is, and it cuts the one who wields it the deepest. So I laid down that blade, buried it with the part of me that once thought love could soften the rough edges of this cold, unyielding world. You might think it makes a man bitter, less than human. But no, it makes him free. Free from the chains that most gladly shackle themselves with, thinking that sentiment will somehow protect them from the storm. It won't. It never has. And it never will. The only shield worth carrying is the one you forge yourself strong, unbreakable. So take this lesson and carve it deep. When you're out there, when you're face to face with those who think they know your type, let them see only what you choose to show. Let them feel the weight of your silence, the calm that says you're beyond reach. That no pleading looks or whispered words will sway you. You are iron, steady and resolute. And when the dust settles, when you stand above the ashes of those who thought they could bend you, you'll know this truth: there's no power greater than a man who's mastered himself, who chose strength over softness and control over chaos. That's the legacy you want, the one that echoes long after you're gone. So next time you feel that twinge in your chest, that whisper of something soft, crush it before it grows. Don't wear your heart on your sleeve. It's a currency you can't afford to spend. And remember, as long as you walk this path, emotions are a liability. Let them see what you want them to see. Let them guess at the fires behind your eyes, but never let them see the flames. And in those moments when the silence is louder than any noise and the emptiness wraps around you, you'll know the price. It's steep, yes, but it's the cost of being untouchable. The world has a way of punishing those who love too freely, who hope too recklessly. It'll tear apart any light you show, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but shadows. That's why you need to understand this now before you end up as another casualty. No one tells you about the nights that go on forever, about the faces that linger, those who made promises they couldn't keep. No one tells you that to be strong, you live with the weight of choices that may have shattered others. But if you're going to survive, you'll carry that weight heavy as it is, and let it harden you rather than break you. There'll come a night, maybe as the rain pounds like drums on the pavement, that you'll find yourself staring back at your own reflection, wondering if you've given up too much. You'll reach for a memory, something to remind you that once, before the world took its toll, you were more than this iron shell. But then you'll stop, remembering what I told you. Emotions are chains. They drag you back to things you're better off leaving buried, pulling you down into a pit that's hard to climb out of. And don't think you're immune, that you can carry feelings and walk through fire unscathed. I thought that once too, thought that keeping a bit of myself unguarded would make me different from the very shadows I was fighting. But it doesn't. It only makes you hesitate when you can't afford it, gives others a way in, a thread to unravel you from the inside. There was someone once eyes bright, like dawn breaking through the dark, who saw something past the stone mask, thought they could see past the walls. And for a moment, I almost believed them, almost thought there was a part of me untouched by all the shadows. But belief is just an invitation. It's a door left ajar. And when the world storms through, it's that door that lets the wolves inside. So I did what needed doing. I shut it all down, walked away from anything that made me hesitate. Anything that tried to remind me of warmth. This road, it's a lonely one. No question about that. Here's a rewritten version, keeping the same intensity, style, and concept to captivate viewers. It's a path few have the heart to walk. A road paved with the wreckage of those who couldn't handle the weight, who buckled under the cost. You'll hear the voices, people who think they understand, calling you cold, claiming there's nothing left inside. I'll let them speak. Their words hold no weight, coming from those who've never stood their ground against the storm. They don't understand that true strength isn't born in comfort. It's forged in every choice, in every fortress you build to guard the places too raw to leave exposed. One day you'll look out over what you've created through the sacrifice and scars and know it was worth it. Not because it was simple, but because you held on where others didn't. Because you chose to wrap your heart in steel and face the world for what it is, a battlefield, and only the relentless remain. And when the last of your obstacles falls, when silence settles around you and the memories come whispering back, you'll stand tall. You'll know that no matter how fierce the storm, no matter how ruthless the fight, you kept what mattered safe. You chose strength, you chose survival. Lad is what makes you unstoppable. So remember this like a creed carved into your bones. Don't bare your heart. Don't let anyone near what you've buried deep. Feelings, they're for those who can afford weakness. And if you're going to walk through fire and come out untouched, you've got to be stronger than that. Show the world only the mask, the unyielding force, the shadow of someone who won't be broken. That's how you survive. That's how you win. And when the dust finally settles, when the echoes of the struggle fade into the silence of the night, there'll be just one thing left. You. No one to lift the weight with you. No applause. And that's all right, because in that moment, you'll know survival isn't about the noise or the praise. It's about knowing that you stood strong when the world threw everything at you and you didn't break. Remember, there's no shame in being feared. No shame in being the one they can't figure out, can't reach. Wear that mystery like armor. A testament to every time you chose steel over softness. Every time you locked your heart away instead of letting it bleed. Let them wonder who you are. Let them fear what they can't understand, because in that shadow, in that silence, lies your strength. So breathe deep, steady your mind, and step into the fray without a blink, your heart locked away. Let the storms come. Let them rage, because when the dust finally settles, you'll still be there unbroken, a figure they couldn't defeat. That, lad, is how you become more than just a name lost in the darkness. That's how you become unforgettable.